Good afternoon and welcome to another video. If you saw the previous video, you'll remember I said I was going to get out the following day. We had a lovely overcast day due. Well, that got upgraded rather overnight to chucking it down with rain all day. It's been throwing it down since 6-7 o'clock this morning. It's still raining now, although very lightly, although it's supposed to be raining heavy all afternoon. Now the reason I've come out is because, given that everywhere is soaking wet, the rivers at the moment are just running off and prime to be high again. I just thought I need to get out because tomorrow all the rivers are going to be up again. The Avon's not even fishable yet from the last flood. So I just thought I've got to go out and do something. So I've come out, coat on, waders on to stay dry. That's the plan. So we're going to do a bit of roving about. This river's actually at a reasonable level at the moment. It's about 1.2, 1.1 on the local gauge, which is relatively low, to be honest. I thought I'd come and see how things have changed. This has been up about 3 meters on the gauge, so it's been up here somewhere. The sheep are all gone out the field, so they didn't drown. And as you can probably see, if you can recognise this swim, this tree has toppled over. Obviously been some bankside erosion there. This tree has come down compared to what it normally looks like. The raft is mostly gone. Are the chubs still there? We'll find out. So clearly with the river in this sort of state with only 3-4 inches of visibility, it's going to be ledgering today. I've got some bread and some worms, simple as that. I've mashed up some bread, my usual style. This is quite stodgy because obviously it's pushing through a bit. I knew it would be. Now I've put a little secret ingredient in here, and if we do any good, I'll tell you what it was. If we don't, I won't bother. But yeah, nice stodgy mashed up bread. It smells lovely. What I'm going to do is put some in it over there. We've got about 4 hours till it gets dark, so we'll bait maybe 5 swims at the most. Similar to that, just a few bits of bread in just to wake the fish up. We'll have a go, see what we can do. I'm sure we're going to get covered in mud. I'm sure we're going to get soaking wet, but aside from that, who knows what else might happen. So bearing in mind we've got, as I said, well, perhaps 3.5 hours before it gets dark. No night fishing on this stretch, so we can only fish just till it gets dark. And that being that, we'll cherry pick the swims where we've had results in the past. I fished this a few times, and only last time did I have a fish from here. So you never know. This one's come up trumps recently. Fishing over towards that snag over there. Though it's pushing through there a lot more than normal. Right, I'm back after being attacked by someone's completely out of control dog. One of my favourite swims along here, but it is back through a bit. Not sure how much of that is going to feed the chub. I think we'll let that one settle for 10 minutes. I'm going to fish another swim I've never fished before. Just for 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Well, that was very nice. Bless her. The lady who owns the dog just came over to apologise. But I said, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. I know dogs, and it was having a go and barking and stuff, but it wouldn't come anywhere near me. You know when you've been brought up around dogs, you know when a dog's going to bite you, when it isn't. It was just, it was talking the talk, it wasn't walking the walk. But that was very nice of her to come and say sorry. And like I said, it was not really a problem. Right, just running through the kit. I've got my Dower Power Mesh £1.25 Tesco rod. It's a twin tip. I've got the quiver tip top section in. I've got DSB RLT 3000 reel there. I'll stick all the information on all this stuff down below in the description if you want to go and have a look. And I'd made a video of how I tie up this running ledger rig I've got on here. It's nice and adjustable, so you can hooks down here in the ring. You can just make the hook link, or effectively the length of the hook link, longer and shorter really easily. But rather than trying to explain it on the bank, there's a video in which I describe that, so I'll link you in up there, and that'll be in the description as well if you want to go and have a look how to tie this up. Find it very useful. It's pretty tangle free as well. Right, we'll have a go in here while the other swims are settling. We'll give it 15 minutes in here. I've never fished here before, but I was chatting to my mate Si when he was here the other day from River Masters. Again, another link, I'll link you in up there and down there. He makes some very entertaining fishing videos. But he was fishing here the other day and we were having a chat because I was here as well, and something jumped up that little stream and it seemed a reasonable size. It wasn't massive, but I just thought, well, you know, there's going to be loads of worms and stuff coming down that little carrier there. Will have been for a few weeks, so it's probably worth giving this 10 or 15 minutes and just see if we get any knocks or anything. And that was absolutely excellent timing, wasn't it? Because the second I've sat down, the heavens have opened. Right, let's see what happens. God, we're getting taps already. Look at that. Small fish, but already getting some action. Just looks the right sort of place to get a few bites. As I say, there's a tiny little carrier there. It's just like a runoff between fields, and it just looks the sort of place that would have been carrying loads and loads of worms out of the fields in these recent floods. There may be just some fish hanging around there, and it seems like there are. How big they are, I don't know. Judging by how the tip's going, not very. Aye. What was I saying? About not very? Look at that, literally. That's pretty much how long it's taken to get a bite. It feels like a chub. It's definitely a chub. He's trying to get us in the edge. He's not a massive one, but God, look at that. Just sat there. Come on, out. God, absolutely all the way along the bank underneath my feet. Well, I'm glad I came out. Look at that. Literally first chuck. I think I was talking for most of that cast, so we'll probably have that in real time, but that was a minute, if that. Well, he's absolutely no monster, but that's cracking first cast. Absolutely wonderful. Great stuff. Right, that being that, we'll have another go, shall we? Well, there's another swim down here that produces. We'll stick him down there. That being that, I think I'll tell you what the secret ingredient is in my mashed bread. I have been playing with garlic puree. I fancied a little bit of a change, especially as the river's a bit coloured. I wanted something to colour up the water a little bit. So I've put some condensed milk in there. Just mixed it in, and yeah, certainly can't complain at that. First cast. I just thought this would probably be a good place. Just as I say, that carrier there after a big flood, there's going to be so much food coming down there. I can't imagine they want to go up there because it's probably quite shallow. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's quite shallow. This is what I've been doing all day. You see, this is my fear for the coming days, because you're due to have a bit of rain again tomorrow, but not too much, and then Thursday it's going to rain a lot again. So I think these rivers are going to come up and stay up for the foreseeable. And like I say, the Avon's only just about back in its banks anyway. I've just driven over it in Stratford, and the footpath at the wreck, or the recreation ground, is the water's about that much below it, so it's only just in the banks. Nah, a few taps off little fish, I think. I think we're stuck in something. Here we are. few taps off little fish and off a branch. So I think we'll call it that. Certainly I would call that a bonus fish. We'll get him back. God, he's proper lively, this one. Proper lively. Come on. Off you go. Cracking. That's a result. To another of the pre-baited swims. I'm tempted to sit down here, to be honest, but it's so muddy. Absolute swamp. Very, very awkward cast to get over to that fallen tree here. Just sort of skim it in sideways. There we go, that'll do. God, took an age to sink. I don't remember it being particularly deep in here. Right, see what we can do. Tap, tap. There we go. Oh. Wonderful. Well, he's no monster. We got him away from the area pretty quickly, so there's perhaps a chance of another one. Oh, I don't look a bad fish actually. Well, that's not a bad one at all, to be fair. Of course, trying to get us in all the foliage. Got him. Cracking. How's about that? Lovely chub on a very wet afternoon. At least we're catching. That's fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Right. Once again, careful. Worth getting him down in the edge here for a few minutes. Well, we're catching a few, aren't we? It's not going crazy, but we're making the most of the fact that I think this river is, by tomorrow, is going to be unfishable. Certainly very, very unproductive anyway. And of course, the good thing is we're here soaking up some of the rain, so you know that's some rain that's not going to go in the river, isn't it? Right. Oh, stop in a bit again. See if we can skim this in again. God, I lost track of time, but it does seem like it's starting to get a bit dark. Right, nothing else forthcoming there. So time for a move. I just think the more swims we try, the more likely we are to catch today. Right, let's get this chap back. Thank you very much. Off you go. Go. flying very, very low. Very weird, looked like an Apache. I'm sure it is. Too far away to tell definitely, but it looked very much like one to me. So doing a bit of training, but they're flying very low, very slow as well. You can probably hear it, making a right racket. Right, another one of the baited swims, one which I fished a few times and never done any good in until I fished it last time when I had a fish in here and I had to go, and I'm sure I would have got another bite if I'd have stuck around. Right, there's a bit of flow pushing under that, which there wasn't last time I fished here. It was only very gentle, but it's proper pushing through this time, so I'm not sure if we're going to do any good. We'll have a go. Just let that run under. Right, see what happens. I'm not massively confident in this swim, but you never know. It just seems if the fish are sort of tucking themselves away to get out of the flow when it's been right up until a few days ago, I'm not sure they'll be back under rafts like that just yet. Alright, that's a tap already, look. And again, and again, and again. Very snatchy though, wasn't it? God, what's this? So fast. Big old bites. Wonder if we've been mugged. I bet we have. Yeah, we have, look. Well, looks like we're going to get some bites in here. Should have hit those perhaps. They're just very funny, rapid, snatchy bites, which is obviously they're quite hard to hit, but I just thought perhaps it was a smaller fish. I mean, that tells a story as well. Look, the mashed bread is still in the feeder, so it's clearly not as fast down at the bottom of the river as it looks on the top. Right, let's try again. This time, if that happens, we'll strike it. Not if, when. When that happens, we'll strike it. And again, look. Oh, I hit that at the wrong time. Don't know, strange bites. Don't look very chubby to me. Maybe they are, but they're not your sort of quintessential chub bites. Covered in mud. It's so wet and muddy. Right, let's just lengthen that hook link a bit. Ooh, went in the tree and then came out again. Come on then. Let's find out what you are. Hopefully. Probably see from the bend in the rod top the how it's rattling through. Well, you can see from the foam as well going through. Bit of flow in here. No, that's long enough. That's long enough in that. We may come and drop back in here. So possibly the last one, which was the first one we baited over there, where there used to be a big raft and there isn't one any longer. I'm sure you can see on there that we are losing the light. We're not going to be able to stay too much longer. As I mentioned, there's no night fishing on here. I could fish just into dark. There's no night fishing as such. I know staying to dark is not a problem, but I don't fancy sitting here in the wind and the rain and the pitch dark. I must admit. Right, see what we can do. Let's chuck that in there. There's not much of a raft to cast to anymore, but you never know what might happen. Hopefully the rod hoops over and we have a nice fish, or two or three. Get that down a bit further. There we are, that's better. Alright. Tippy tap tap. There we go. Oh, blimey. Blimey. This is pulling. I'm not giving any. Not giving him anything at all to get into those tree roots. I'm not giving him any line, that's what I mean. I'm giving him some stick, I'm not giving him any line. Come on, out. Oh, he looks a nice fish. Right down by our feet. Oh, it does look like a nice fish. I wonder who's pulling. Come on. Well, that's cracking. Doesn't take long when you're in the right place. He's a nice fish. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Right. It's just starting to rain again. We'll see if we can have another one out of here before we call it a day, I think. That was very, very quick again. Which it often is when you're in the right place. Let's put him down there. It's a nightmare swim to try and rest up fish. Right, I've given that another 5 since we've had this fish. Nothing else forthcoming. I do fancy that swim we fished before this one to do a bite. I'll do another bite, I should say. We did have a proper bite in there and lots of taps and rattles. So I'm going to get this nice chub back and we'll go in there. Gone. Right, let's nip back in there. It's had a rest for 15 minutes or so now, so that'll be hopefully do it some good. We'll give it another 10 minutes in here, I think. Kind of, for some reason, kind of keen to try a swim I've not tried before. Dropped a bit of bait in earlier. Just a corner swim, just looked nice. But we are losing the light now. And it's starting to rain again. So I might nip down there, I might not. Just see what happens. Right, let's just drop that in there again. Donk. Right. Come on, Mr. Chub. The weather's a bit grim, as you can probably tell. So I'm just going to have one more cast, I think, and then we'll call it a day, because this is, yeah, not good. Not at all pleasant. We can just about see the quiver tip though, so we'll have another cast. This is where having a white quiver tip really comes into its own. Really, it's so much more visible at this sort of time at night. Right, come on, fishies. That's not close enough, I don't think. There we go. It's an absolute swamp here. Right, 5 minutes. Then we'll bring the craziness to a halt. Right. Some interest. Once again, a few rattles. And again. Just waiting for something positive enough to make me bite, strike like that. There we go. Oh. Blimey, we've had to wait for this bite in a swim. I don't even feel that big. I knew this swim was good for a bite. I knew it. Absolutely knew it. We're just hanging out in the flow. Come on, chap. Oh, he looks a nice fish. Got him. Got him. I was about that to finish off with. Beautiful chub. I knew this swim was good for a bite. I knew it. But that's cracking. Nice winter condition. Fantastic. Right, we'll get him straight back. Give him a second to get his breath back. That's been cracking. Really, really enjoyed this session, despite the weather. So we've had 4 fish, which has been cracking. Really pleased about that. Off you go. And as I've been saying through the video, this river is going to be flooded. It's going to be absolutely flooded like crazy from tomorrow. I think from tonight, really. So I'm really glad we got a chance to come out and make the most of it, brave the weather. Well, I think I've had enough of getting wet. The wind has started pushing in from, well, I think it's sort of southwesterly, which would make sense with the rain, and the rain is now going at 45 degrees, so I think it's time to go home. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you again, hopefully, very soon.